Ever since President Trump took office, he's been attacking the establishment press harder than Elon's face by his own kids. And now the Trump administration is welcoming a crop of new media reporters to the White House. In fact, they're not just replacing old media, they're great replacing.
Starting today, this seat in the front of the room, which is usually occupied by the press secretary's staff, will be called the new media seat. We have an individual in our new media seat today. His name is Tim Pool.
Okay, all right. Lovely to meet you, Tim Pool, a YouTuber and I'm assuming former GameStop employee. Now, his head might be cold, but he's in the hot seats. Let's hear him hold this administration's feet to the fire.
Many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland Man hoax. I'm wondering if you could comment on that unprofessional behavior.
Wow. Now that's a great question. Everyone in this room sucks. Do you care to comment? Okay, so the Trump administration has brought in the perfect weapon. Someone who can attack the media from within the media. He's like a wolf in sheep's clothing if that clothing came from Hot Topic. You know what? Looks can be deceiving. If he has White House credentials, I'm sure he brings the dignified, well-sourced positions that we expect from qualified journalists.
The left are like, women only get paid 73 cents on the dollar for what a man makes. But at the same time, you have this trend of ladies' nights where at bars, women get discounts when they buy drinks. So spare me, dude.
Because of trans issues, we must refer to the vagina as the front hole.
Whoa! What? I can't believe what my upper side holes are hearing. But you know what? This is just how new media talks. If you're offended by that, you're stuck in the old legacy media world and don't understand what an alpha this guy is. He's cool, tough, and you know what? The ladies love him.
We're going to end up with a generation of women who view almost all men as inadequate. I think it's crazy that I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. You know what the problem?
I can't believe they're cooking some of his greatest hits here. It is what, dude, the allowance that right-wingers have is something that I yearn for. I don't even want to do shit, but at least like maybe people would lay off my ass for a little bit. Like, think about it. Tim Pool literally got money from a foreign adversary to do propaganda, okay? He got money from the Russian government to do pro-Russia, anti-Ukraine content. And now he's at the White House. And no one turns around and goes, that was kind of weird. Like, not a single right-winger I've ever heard from a single right-winger that goes, that's odd that you did that. And now he's literally running around with Benjamin Netanyahu, right? And the same thing goes for even like Asmongold, right? Now that he's like a right-wing guy, now that he's like a right-wing commentator. Like, can you imagine how much I would get asked if I had a direct line of communication to like some woke billionaire and I just ran cover for him? Like, Asmongold literally has Elon replying to him and he's now defending Elon Musk and his fan base still thinks he's like a brave, honest soldier and not like a self-interested charlatan. Imagine a world where I am directly involved with a liberal billionaire, not like giving me direct money, but just a liberal billionaire. Mark Zuckerberg, when he was woke, right? Before he got hit with the Dominican Ray. Imagine if Mark Zuckerberg at the time was like, I love Hasan, I follow him, we talk all the time. What would the right-wing media ecosystem do in that process? Mark Cuban right now. Let's say Mark Cuban is like in my fucking DMs and we're having a back and forth. We're talking. We're chummy. And I'm constantly defending him. The right would freak the fuck out, understandably. My point is, there is a major double standard with between leftist commentary and leftist commentators and their audiences and everyone outside of the respective audiences versus the way that right-wingers treat their own commentary figures. If I shield for fucking billionaires, everyone would understandably be up my ass. But if you're right-wing and you shield for fucking billionaires, people literally don't get mad at you. They're like, yeah, of course it's going to do that. That's base. It's woke. You understand what I mean? It's like such a weird, almost freeing thing that the right has, like this superpower that the right has, that they're just fucking shameless. And they're proud of their shameless nature.
Problem is, though, it's definitely not me. I think it's everybody else.
You know, I'm gonna play this hand blind and say it's definitely you, Tim. Hold on. In fairness, I'm sure it's hard out there for guys who look like Joe Pesci's Home Alone stunt double. Fair. Okay, fine. Fine. He's not great at analyzing his love life, but that doesn't mean he isn't great at analyzing the political landscape and telling us not just what's happening, but what's going to happen next.
Like, look. Dude. This is the example. You just proved it. Your standards are so out of whack. Look, you kind of are shilling for billionaires by streaming on Twitch, bruh. If you are advocating for working class people to be able to get a fucking fairer shake and to be able to get health care and to be able to have some sort of power in the fucking workforce, you're supposed to be living in a fucking barrel, okay? And you can't do that outside of like a soapbox. You have to stand on a soapbox outside of a metro station, and that's it. If you use any of the fucking platforms that billionaires have created, then you're also at fault. Meanwhile, right-wingers can literally defend billionaires actively while also befriending billionaires actively, and none of that comes across as indecent. That's my point. It doesn't make any sense. The standards are so fucking out of whack. You want to shill for billionaires? No, dude, I don't, and I won't. My point is, perceived hypocrisy of ideological enemies has a higher weight in the right than the actual hypocrisy of ideological allies. Whereas this same double standard does not exist on the left. There is no like leftist allowance for progressive figures that you even have minor disagreements with, where you are supposed to let it go. I try to tell people, like, let it go. Like, grade people on a curb if they are truly with the cause. And I can't even get motherfuckers to do that, which I think is productive. No, it's not because the left actually has standards. There's like I'm of two different minds on this. I think partially it's because the left has standards. That part is true for sure. Because, like, there's only so much. You don't want fucking actual shills. You don't want actual grifters to pollute your movement, right? But it's just wild that, it's just wild that there's so much purity testing beyond that. There's no solidarity at all.
Like the predictions he made about January 6th, 2 days prior.
Newsweek says exclusive threat of pro-Trump violence in Washington overshadows inauguration security plans. Oh, I just love the depravity of these news outlets. When did Trump tweet, "Go get violent," and instigate violence? Trump said, "Be there. It'll be wild." What does that even? I'm having a party. Everybody, you got to be there. It's going to be wild. What does that mean? Does that mean we're going to bring guns and it's going to be violent? No, it means we're going to have a party.
Yeah, that's right, bro. And you know what they say? It ain't a party until somebody drops a deuce at Nancy Pelosi's desk.
That is a real party.
Fine. So New Media's Tim Pool was wrong about January 6th. He's not a mind reader, even though he dresses like a street magician. Still, Tim can promise you this. He brings you the unbiased and unfiltered truth.
The news you're getting comes straight from me and straight from the source. I don't have a political agenda.
Bringing real news and not narrative to all of you.
Exactly. It's truth to table journalism. Immune to propaganda and outside influence. Tim Pool is an honest man who cannot be bought.
Popular far-right American influencer Tim Pool, unwittingly paid by Russian state media company RT as part of an operation to influence American politics.
Pool promoting pro-Russian narratives on a host of issues.
Whoa. Are you saying I shouldn't trust a man who dresses like a divorced ghost hunter? What? Whoa, no. You know what? These news reports can say whatever they want to say, but I'm sure he's not blatantly shilling for Russia.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military support, and we should apologize to Russia.
Wow. Now that is customer service. I mean, come on, Tim, you're better than this. These allegations are true. I'm outraged. You can't be pushing Russian propaganda. It doesn't matter how much they're paying.
A new report claims that during the 2024 campaign, Russian state media funneled $100,000 per episode to Tim Pool.
$100,000? me in my front hole. Whoa. 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 All right. So what have we learned here today? We learned that Tim Pool has been compromised by Russian interests. However, the good news is I have not. Give me a call, Vlad. For the right price, this face hole can be all yours. Das Vidanya, comrades. I'm Jordan Klepper. Good night.